Hello and welcome. I am Katie Cannon, the founder of Gold Medal Coaching and your host for the Gold Medal Show. So welcome. We are discussing today how to strip out the overwhelm in your first year of business. And I absolutely love this subject because it can be a make or break subject. And I thought it was super relevant because we're in the process of launching our brand new program. And this episode is sponsored by our live mentorship program at Gold Medal Coaching, where we give you, it's an ultimate package for health and fitness entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to build your own gym, studio, amazing online business and brand. So you'll see all the details of how to get further information at the bottom of this video. So I wanted to create this episode today because it was inspired by a summit that I've just done, and you'll see it all over my social media. And there are still chances, if you still haven't opted in and you want to have access to the summit, whiz me a message and I'll absolutely send you the details of how to opt in and how to get the interviews. But I interviewed 21 experts in the health and wellness field, all from different backgrounds in the wellness space, and all about success versus burnout. And nearly so many times as I was interviewing, they were talking about overwhelm and how to strip out the overwhelm and how to create different strategies and self-care strategies within your business so that you do not get overwhelmed. Because one of the biggest things I see in my clients, but also that I have personally felt growing business over the last 12 years, is when you have overwhelm, then procrastination kicks in, then you do nothing. Yeah. So if you can master stripping out the overwhelm, especially learning this in your first year of business, it will really, really help you to succeed and really build that longevity in your business that you're going to want. So one of the biggest reasons, as I said, is when you've got overwhelm, you're floating along. Now, my personal story with overwhelm is very much that floating feeling. So when I started I'm going to give you a couple of different scenarios here, but I'm going to start with building my online business. So building my coaching business with Gold Medal Coaching and building online. Very much, I got very overwhelmed in the early days when it came to marketing strategy. So I wasn't sure whether to do Facebook groups, do webinars, do Facebook ads, do Instagram ads. Like what do I focus on? Do I reaching out to people? Am I really growing online? In terms of what platforms do I use? Do I need to use Twitter? Do I need to use LinkedIn? Do I need to use Instagram, Facebook? And it really overwhelmed me. When I really look back at the early days of building my gyms, the overwhelm, even though I was less knowledgeable because I was a fresh new entrepreneur, there also was not enough option. There wasn't as many options as there is today. We didn't have social media. You're like, oh my God, did she just build her business in the dark ages? But it was 2008, and we didn't have social media. And I actually think that made it easier, especially online business and obviously building the gyms. There was no online training or any of that then, but it made it very much localized marketing. And I think I felt less overwhelmed then than I did almost 10 years down the line, because you wasn't sure what advice to take, how to take it, what to implement now. Should I be doing that in my first year of business or should I be doing that in my year 10? So that is the biggest thing I see. And one of the big reasons why we started the mentorship is to really give people that roadmap, because it's the biggest thing that I have struggled with throughout my journey. So I shared with you a couple of weeks ago, I did an episode on 5 strategies in your first year, and I will link to this in the show notes, but really go back to them episodes on 5 strategies to help you be successful in your first year of business. And I also did one on creating your niche, which you'll find as well, because when you bring them two together, and the reason why I wanted to talk about them episode, because they very much go together and flow together. Because if you have a simple roadmap to success in your first year matched with knowing your niche, your overwhelm is not going to be as much of a headache as it should be. Because overwhelm comes when you've just got so much on your plate. You've got so much that you're thinking about. You're not sure, as I said, what to do first. And that's when you get confused. And to be honest, if you carry on in that state, burnout, that's what happens. So I'm going to give you 3 top tips of mine to limit the amount of overwhelm you're going to receive, especially when you're starting your business, or if you're a brand new entrepreneur as well. So number one is, I've touched on this before, but join a community. Join a community of like-minded people who are all doing what you're doing. So whether or not you choose one mentor, one podcast and I said I was discussing this the other day in one of my strategies as well, but choosing someone to follow, a group of people to associate yourself. And I wanted to bring this in because within our live mentorship, that's one of the biggest parts, which is so special of what people say, because you've got to be around the right people, all building the same sort of vision and dream, all within the health and fitness industry. You're all speaking the other people's language, so important. So number two, I want you to focus on staying in your own lane. Now, this is something that I'm continually working on. Stay in your own lane and stop comparing. Now, overwhelm happens when you're on social media, you're flicking through, you're like, oh my gosh, she looks amazing. Oh my gosh, look at her business. Oh my gosh, I should be where she is. But you don't know their backstory. You don't know how many years they might have been growing their business. You don't know what struggles they've had. You immediately think, oh God, well, if they're doing that, then I've got to be doing that. But their strategy or what they're doing might be great for them because they're in that's their comfort and where their business needs at maybe year 5 or year 6. They also might have a bigger mental capacity and personal development skills to deal with that level that they're doing within the business. So I want to encourage you to really stay in your own lane. Stop comparing yourself to what others are doing and what you feel you should be doing. And that leads me on to number 3 of having that quarter plan. And within this episode, I shared with you in previous episodes, I'm also going to link to that. There's lots of different episodes I want to link to within this one because it kind of goes with lots of what we've been talking about. And that episode is very much, I was telling you about how to build more time with your side hustle and how to really market your business in the right way, but without having the overwhelm and thinking, how on earth am I going to build this into my calendar? I've got so much to do. And the secret is to not being overwhelmed is to create that quarter plan, to create that plan that you're not creating the plan for 2021. You're creating a plan Jan through to March. So you know what you're going to work on, what you're going to promote, and what your strategy to get your clients through the door is going to be. Not going to open a massive gym. Obviously, COVID times, that's quite tricky at the minute. But, I'm going to build a massive online brand with all these followers and sell like 100 people through my course when you're a brand new business owner. So really stripping it back and keeping the basics is where you're going to really create longevity in your business, keep a solid mindset, but also make sure you're here today and in years to come. So, and that brings me on to, we had so many experts, which I was delighted with and overwhelmed myself with our summit, Success versus Burnout Summit, that we couldn't fit them all in. So I've launched a new summit, which is called How to Be Here Today and Here in Years to Come. So if you're brand new to your business or you're super new, you're thinking that they're really good experts to be tuning in and learning from on how they can teach you all their tips and strategies so that you can be here in 10 years time. With things changing so quick, you need to be on the ball with it, right? So you'll find details of how to get involved within the summit below. It's completely free. Just come along, learn from our incredible community and really feel their vibe and energy and really take notes of all their strategies and tips that they're going to share with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. So I wanted to, one of my purposes for this episode was to keep it quite short, to create less overwhelm, and definitely an episode, because I've linked to a few in here for you. It's definitely an episode that you can go back to and rewatch it and relearn, because there's always, whatever stage of your business journey, there's always more learning to be done and recapping on the basics. So this episode can be found on all our socials. So have the best rest of your day. Have an amazing week. See you next time.